Hey, Salut Friends. Today we are looking at an oud fragrance. Yes, the infamous note that became popular in Western perfumery because of Tom Ford being the trailblazer in the early 2000s with OSL M7. Some believe the application of an oud note in a French fragrance goes back to Balenciaga Parfum in the 90s. Post all that, the one fragrance that took it to the next level by openly declaring the use of a generous quantity of real oud in a French perfume came in the form of The Night by Frederic Malle and Dominique Ropion. Even before that, the oud craze had been in full flow. Some exceptions aside, we have had hundreds of lukewarm oud releases. Having said that, I have tried to be optimistic with more independent brands coming into the industry, always been keeping an eye out, testing and trying to filter out those standout oud creations, which brings us to this. How I actually arrived at buying it, I'll explain a bit later in the video. This is Ruade from Parfum d'Empire, a house run by the perfumer chemist Marc-Antoine Corticchiato. Parfum d'Empire is a house that I really like, very traditional French perfumery. Some may even consider it old-fashioned by today's fragrance ecosystem. Marc-Antoine works around traditional raw materials, notably inspired by his Corsican background. As such, there are several outdoorsy, countryside style of notes, herbs, spices in his creations. I discovered the brand with Ambre Rouge. I also enjoy Eau de Gloire, Fougère Bengal, Lacry, Corsica Furiosa and Tabac Tabou. Some of the immortal, cumin-heavy and heady floral creations are not for me, but a quality house nonetheless. This is inspired by his equestrian life, particularly motivated by the aura of horses post-competition. They have been part of his life since childhood apparently, and this is supposed to be a souvenir from this world. He also mentioned how he came across oud some 30 years ago and knew exactly the kind of perfume he wanted to make, but kept away from it because of it becoming trendy and challenges with sourcing good quality oud. Finally, in the beginning of 2020s, his motivation was reignited, and we have Ruad. So how does it smell? It opens with quite a kick. In fact, that's what Ruad means, a kick of a horse. Some short-lived freshness, maybe some bergamot and mandarin in there, but it seamlessly transitions to the topic in hand, as with other creations within the line, which is the oud in this case. And this is real Taiwanese oud, used in generous amounts according to the man, and the wearing experience reflects that. In the beginning, you get this pungent departure. The animalic, countryside, barnyardy, manure-like notes start to come in. I like that it's not glorifying the oud even in its name. Bless him, it's not a rose oud combo. More so trying to convey the idea using the oud. Credits for that. This horse theme is one that I have been enjoying the last couple of years, from rock to paddock. And this may be the most unapologetically horsey fragrance that I have come across, although it seems to have become a mini trend to the point that I came across some 7 to 8 horse scents this year, so I may be totally horsed out after this, I think. The oud in itself is glorious, so beautiful and convincing. It's got this majestic, mysterious, golden elegance on one hand, and this sort of medicinal, greasy, sour, petroleum aspects on the other. What also helps it connect with the theme of the scent is this sense of heat, which in large parts is helped by the leather accord. The balmy, bulky, castoreum type of leather joins the oud right from the beginning. The primal, muscular sensation reminds me of a horse's hooves digging through the mud. The mane, the gallop, the chestnut brown color, pretty much the entire imagination of a horse's aura is conveyed so convincingly. I almost look at it as a sequel to Paddock, even his own Equestrian, which captured the idea pre-competition. The horse is all relaxed, eating its carrots, getting the wax applied, getting prepared, mostly sanitized. This is post-competition. It's more dirty and muddy. The saddle is worn out, drenched in sweat and dried out, remnants of the tar and wax. There is still the sense that you are in the presence of an adrenaline-induced, perspiring, tired, unpredictable beast that is more stronger than you and can quickly cross into the dangerous zone. The choice of the supporting notes are very clever in adding to this image. There is Narcissus, which has the honeyed, fruity, yellow floral accents, as well as the animalic, fierce, bewitching, bodily accents. This is where it reminded me of Roberto Greco fragrances, which use Narcissus for really bringing out the humanistic elements, particularly Hier, which, no surprise, was also composed by Marc Antoine. I even think that fragrance may have motivated him to go ahead with this one. There is also Hay, which adds this rusty greenness and obviously the dry, earthy, grassy, agrestic aspects to the scent. Vietnamese oud, the specific Archillaria variety, is known to have sweet, honeyed, floral touches along with earthiness and dry, tarry smokiness, and these supporting notes really help to complement those facets, forming this holistic scent profile. Marc Antoine said that during his research, he observed notes like hay, immortelle, and mint are frequently thought of as inferior notes within perfumery, whereas rose, sandalwood, and jasmine are considered superior, but he believes that they can be equally beautiful, and it's clearly demonstrated with this and his other creations for the brand. I would be interested to know what is the percentage of oud oil in the formula. Don't think it has been revealed yet. That's pretty much the overall scent profile. The transitions are also not major. Of course, the oud itself shows different facets throughout the day while still maintaining the central theme. In the later stages, it becomes dry and dusty with the hay and narcissus. The leather and musk become more dominant, and that's how the scent closes out. The performance is pretty good, lasting 10 hours on skin, more so a moderate diffusion and sillage, not as bombastic as other common oud fragrances out there. It persists, but if anything, I would have liked it to have a bit more of a push in the later stages, with it being an oud fragrance and for the price. Maybe for that, he would need to go in the woody amber's direction. If that's the case, I'm fine with the compromise. It is an extrait de parfum concentration too. Of course, in terms of occasions, it can be worn where this kind of oud works for you. Obviously in cold weather, but I find this to work in the heat as well. So coming back to why I got this, apart from liking it, which is enough reasoning, I have been looking for another good Western Oud fragrance after the night and a couple of other Desert Gems, which are frankly the best in this category, I think. I discovered this one the end of last year at Xerjoff when it had just been released, and I was immediately impressed. It already showed potential for a purchase, but then I wanted to take time to decide. Obviously to look if I can find a deal. Second, to see if there is anything else that I would prefer over this. Then 2024 rolled along, and out of nowhere, it seemed like I had two new competing releases to consider. One was Hope from Frederic Malle. No one was expecting a new Desert Gem when the man was leaving the brand, but there it was. Second was from Les Indémodables, who said they would never do an oud and made one in less than a year, with Vanille Avant Cœur d'Oud. Nevertheless, Frederic Malle, my favorite house, and Les Indémodables have some great materials, so I decided to give them a try. Hope was okay, but it was a riff on Promise, a smoother take only with real oud and some good frankincense. It certainly did not warrant a purchase for the price. Then there was Vanille Avant Oud, which was also nice, but just felt like the original Vanille Avant with a side serving of oud, with the impactful facets being fractionated out, plus the marketing pitch with it being a limited edition and nowhere to test it did not sit right with me. So in the end, I still preferred this one. It's not riffing off of an existing release or riding on the brand name or a limited edition, and Marc Antoine is not asking me to blind buy it. And honestly, I think it's better. It's more convincing as an oud perfume and just overall a better perfume in my opinion. On top of all that, at retail, this is also the cheapest amongst the three. Unexpectedly, I also found it for a good price, so it was a no-brainer. In summary, I am quite taken with this. It's a superb integration of oud in French perfumery. Conviction is the word that I keep repeating because there's a lot of it here doing an oud, same way he did with musk for Musk Tonka. I love that this is a creation connected to his passion for horses. The evocation of the bond between a rider and his horse is quite intriguing, It has even made me more curious about the fascination with horses and the equestrian world. Any new Western Oud has to be at this level or better for me to consider hereafter. The next distinctive Western Oud after the night, this might be it. So there you have it, my review of Ruad from Parfum d'Empire. Thanks for watching, take care and ciao.